Hello again, boys and girls. Welcome back to the North Pole. Would you like to hear a Christmas story? Here's one written by a nice lady named Edna Miller. It's called Mousekins' Christmas Eve. The house was empty. Mousekin was sure of that. The carpet that had covered the floor was gone. The great stuffed chair that had stood by the fire was gone. The old dog, too tired to care if Mousekin scurried near him in the night, was gone. It had been a happy home, with crumbs to be found after dark and cotton to be pulled from the great stuffed chair. Now Mousekin was alone. He rap-a-tapped his tiny paw on the bare boards, and the sound echoed from room to room. Nothing else stirred in the empty house. Mousekin climbed to the window-sill. He stretched his slender body to peer above the ribbon of frost that twinkled on the window pane. The moon cast the long shadows of bare trees. The wind made them dance on the newly fallen snow. It was a bright night, and not too safe for a whitefoot mouse to venture out. But Mousekin knew he must find another home that night. He scurried to the floor again and hurried to a chink near the hearth. Not looking back, he jumped through a small opening and onto the old wooden beams that led to the world outside. The wind and cold surprised the little mouse. With his ears flattened back and his whiskers pressed close, he hurried through the snow. Sometimes he ran lightly across the tops of the drifts, and when he heard a sound that worried him, he would tunnel beneath the snow until all danger had passed. All the world had turned to ghostly white. A snowshoe hare leaped high across Mousekin's path and raced to his home in the underbrush. A willow grouse, more startled than Mousekin by the hare's sudden leap, flew from its cover, beating its strong wings against the frosty air. A snowy owl hooted from the lonely woods. Mousekin shivered as he sensed all the danger around him. The moonlight and the shadows played fearful tricks. Was that a small hemlock bent with snow? Or was it a weasel in his winter white coat, waiting and hiding? Mousekin's heart beat faster as he hurried on through the night. It was when he had stopped for a moment to catch his breath and warm his toes underneath his fur that Mousekin first saw the great blue circle of light. It covered him and it colored him. He jumped aside with a start. In jumping, he found himself in a circle of bright red. Then yellow and green surrounded him. Lavender and gold glistened on the snow. The white world had vanished, and there was color all about him. Looking up, Mousekin saw a great house. There was laughter and music inside, and a warm light shone from every window. He hurried to the window ledge and huddled near its open to warmth until the music and the laughter stopped, and one by one the lights went out in the happy house. As mice have a way of knowing just where a mouse-sized doorway can be found, it wasn't very long before Mousekin made his way into a large, warm room. Before him stood a great pine tree. Mousekin had never seen such a tree in the forest. It was decked in long, shimmering icicles and great globes of many colors that gleamed from every branch. With a little hop, Mousekin jumped into its branches. The icicles danced and brushed the balls of color and made a tinkling sound. As he turned to explore a little further, he saw a sight that made him jump. There on the tree was the strangest mouse that Mousekin had ever seen. With a squeak, he raced to the very top of the tree. He sat and waited to make certain all was safe. Then carefully, not to disturb a single thing that hung on the lovely tree, he made his way down to the underbranches. Beneath the tree there were bits of cookies, nuts, and crumbs, and more good things to eat than Mousekin had ever tasted before. It was when he had stopped for a moment to clean his silken coat that Mousekin turned and saw the creche in bright moonlight. The stable had a steep thatched roof. Inside, hand-carved wooden people kneeled, and there were animal figures with bent knees too. Softly sleeping in the rude manger lay a tiny baby. Peace and quiet filled the little mouse. He felt safe at last from the great ghostly world outside. The end.